the beginning of July, and an early morning stroll will kind of give some updates on lack of care, I guess, I've been providing to the garden. I did cut back some of this sedum because it was just infringing in the lawn. Those half-dead annuals that were tossed in the planter are doing really, really well, at least the petunias, and the self-seeded verbena. My elephant ears, definitely the star of the show over here. I enjoy that quite a bit because it hides most of the electrical panel. My garden, every year I try to redo this west side, and I cannot find the happy medium. In the spring I like it. This year we dug up a good chunk of the geraniums. There's still some over there. I thought, oh, maybe we'll do catmint border, but I don't think that's going to be full enough or colorful enough. My geums, that one in the back there is new, is doing okay. This one in the front was from last year. Never bloomed, looked kind of rough. I am happy with the butterfly bush. That's doing what it's supposed to, but they're so short-lived around here, I don't know what to expect, if it'll come back or not. And then the echinaceas, every year I think I'm gonna transplant them, but they keep coming back and provide some color this time of year since nothing else does. My hibiscus has been destroyed by Japanese beetles. Again, I've traveled quite a bit this summer, like last year, so I was not good about bug preventative spraying or anything like that. The globe thistle looks cute. So we'll see that reoccurring, the bug damage. And right now we've got these fuzzy caterpillars that are kind of wreaking havoc on everything now that the Japanese beetles have died off. This looks a little rough over here, only because the clematis always does this when it dies back. At least there's still quite a bit of green. Still loving my geraniums. Cup and saucer vine I won't bother with again. I really enjoy these little tiny alliums. I've had those for years. I don't even know what they are, but I'm glad I moved them over here. Maybe I'll do more of those. And then we have this clearance knockout rose. Got that for 90% off. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but for 90% off, how can I not take her home? And she's got some buds, despite Japanese beetles destroying it as it sits in the yard. The old septic raised bed is okay. It's doing what I wanted, I guess, covering the lack of soil here. So the astilbe's just bright, pretty green. The geraniums, my pop of color. Sedum, which is divided every year and thrown different places every year. And then this was an eryngium that I started from seed. Hopefully it'll come back next year. Loving the mojito. Still looking good from back a distance, little height. I was able to harvest the sunflowers. Tomato is locked and loaded. I thought it was a sun gold, but they're not very orange. So that's not a lot to look at, but filling the space. And then when we go over here to the deer buffet, as I say, because it was not fenced in, so I have let them do what they will. I guess it's better to provide a little patch than let them feast on all the plants I do love, because most of these are divisions over here. I'm thinking, because I've basically run out of space to plant and I am mostly shade, of expanding this to like meet over there, and then I could put a couple of hydrangeas or more of a statement shrub. I am looking to cut down kind of this jumble, mostly the evergreen that you see tucked in there. It's just not healthy, and there's two of them growing side by side. So if I get rid of those, then I can really like round that out nice and maybe put some plants that look good and aren't just wild beasts. I just popped down the deer fence which has done great. There was that one time I left it down and the deer did get in there and munch a fair amount. My own fault. But now that it's getting close to the end of season, I'm debating if I'm just going to leave it down and keep spraying so I can actually enjoy it a little more than looking through the fence, especially with the echinacea and the rudbeckia. Some things are doing great, some things aren't doing great, but I still like this border. It's just nice and full. It's interesting, the hostas they did eat. This was Hope Springs, and then only a couple leaves of Brother Stefan. Oh, and then we got nice weeds. I've always got weeds. As I said, with the traveling, I've been pretty lax. This year's been very chill, and you can see it when we get to the cut flowers. I don't have a lot producing. And then this June Spirit, I believe is this one. They did enjoy that. They've always enjoyed that one. And a little bit of One Last Dance. So pretty. And the cardinal flower, I can't skip over that beacon of light back there. And over here, look at this monster. So I had the cardinal flower in this region last year, and I saw these seedlings, and at first I was like, oh, those look kind of weedy. And then I let them grow, and I was like, nope, those look just like the cardinal flower. And these are the thickest, beefiest. It's 5 feet tall, this one. So I'll keep an eye on those, but for now, let it do its thing. And there's even one here too. I had heard they self-seed really well, and this year they're proving they really do. And you'll see some heucherella added in. There's an annual clearance. A lot of the coleus I popped in that was super unhealthy, and it's still not really doing much. I did not fertilize really anything back here. And the Brunnera, so there's two. One there and then one over there. Struggling a bit. That's okay. Do what I can. If we take a peek back here. So the deer only munched a couple leaves down there. They didn't make it all the way in because this is like where I stopped unhooking it. So they were brave enough to go in there, but not go crazy. The other one that's self-seeding is the Astrantia. Kind of bebop back here a little bit. So you can see that big leaf and all those little babies. I don't know if I want to leave them or not, because they're kind of here, there, and everywhere. We'll see. For now, I'm just kind of letting the strong survive. And I'm liking how this is coming along. I believe I'm going to pop this big beauty out of the pot this year because it was overwintered in there, and I might stick it behind the lily. I was going to pull the lily, which is like a reddish orange daylily, but on the other hand, I like the strappy texture because there's so many repeating between hosta, astilbe. It's a lot of the same textures. So the daylily looks good. I don't love the blooms. I probably should find a home for this little Joe Pye weed because it looks really funny right there. I'm happy it bloomed though, so maybe I leave it and transplant it next spring. I don't know. I could always put it behind my cutting garden. So I like how the colors are over here. A couple of newer ones is the High Society. I have another, this was a heuchera that I did bring home this year. It was not overwintered. And then the ghost fern back there. And this guy right here, I'm not sure how you even say it. Takudama, flavor cicernalis. It's interesting because we had other ones in the pot that were green. This particular one was more limey. Will it stay limey? Was it the light it was exposed to? I don't know, but I like it. I'm gonna have to do some more limbing because these are all just getting really droopy and gross. transplanted hydrangea actually has blooms. I should probably cut some. It doesn't look great being all droopy and weepy. My other vision, which takes a lot of work, so it's whether or not I can get my boys on board. This is alive. It got a late frost, so I believe that's what kind of killed it off for the season. I don't love it because it always looks diseased and spotty. It's not very healthy. I mean, it's kind of cool because I like the multi-trunks, but if I don't love it, I should get rid of it. So I'd like to get rid of that. Get rid of that spindly pine to the left, that one over there, and maybe put in an actual evergreen that's a specimen and not just wild growth or self-seeded. Like a blue spruce would be super cool, but I don't want anything that gets huge. I want something small. So that's my vision for that. The cutting garden, it's very neglected. I did cut a bouquet this week, but it's kind of slim pickings. I'd harvested some of the heads off of here. None of my plum ones did very well. I was able to harvest one, and then the other one I left up there too long, so all the petals fell off. And the snaps that are here are weak and just bleh, not really looking good in bouquets. So I'm leaving them in the ground because they look nice in the ground. Still covered in bugs. I did come out and spray because they had those little black bugs on them. I don't know if I can find any this morning. Hopefully not. Hopefully I've done my job of getting rid of them. So there's not a lot to see here. Very bare. I still am pulling out the, what is it called? Purple stuff that's everywhere. Ageratum. Holy, I don't think I ever want to plant it again just because of the fact that in me raking the gardens this year, they're everywhere. Like all the way over here. I never had ageratum over here. It's everywhere. So it's like a rampant weed. This over here, ageratum, ageratum. And every time I come out, I'm just pulling more and more. I did harvest an onion. That was exciting. Used that for dinner last night. I did throw in some more sunflower seeds, what I had left. I was going to try to get a later harvest of both these and the plum pro cuts. And something came along and ate them all. Because all of these bare spots, I put sunflowers in, and not a single one is here. So it could be the chipmunks, mice, who knows. My Lysianthus, the one that I had survived from seeding, is a beefcake. I'm so excited about that one. Because everything else feels kind of like a flop. Like all of these clary sage. Ugh. I don't know. I clearly did something wrong. Look, more ageratum, weed. Dill's gone by, and I see no caterpillar or butterfly activity. Bee balm, I did cut some of that last night, but I left some up because the hummingbirds are still visiting. These cosmos are really pretty. They are difficult to cut for bouquets, but I love that. And the straw flower, too bad it's not open because that's so pretty together when it is. Oh, our little garden dog out there in the woods. Guy may be old, but I still run around. Not a huge fan of these pom-pom dahlias. They're so puny and there's so many on a branch. I am not comfortable using those, so won't plant those again. I do like my Phyllis marigolds. And the Siam tomato is okay. Like this is kind of the final push. It's an interesting, it really is a good patio size. Not the most flavorful, but still decent. And this cutting slash perennial garden, I don't love it this year. Love the colors from afar. The smiley sunflowers down front are on their way out. Geraniums are still kind of holding their own. I probably should find something to replace those sunflowers with. It would look nicer. Cosmos always looks ratty. It looks so good from afar, but I'm trying to stay on top of deadheading and it still looks ugh. The zinnias are finally come to light though. The problem is I don't love all the colors that I have. They're all kind of, I just threw in whatever seeds I had, and it's mostly pinky, and they are pretty. But those ones, bleh. These are my only queenie ones that really look good, but they're hit or miss on being nice enough for a bouquet anyway. And my one hydrangea still is a shining star over here compared to this guy who did not want to bloom. I can't blame it, it's tucked over there. Threw in a few more, or a couple. Heucherella. Haven't swapped the Astilbe and the hosta in the back yet. It's been so humid. So this is the first week humidity's gone back all summer. Like, it's been terrible. That also is part of the reason, not just traveling. I can't work in the humidity. Even coming out first thing in the morning, it wouldn't matter. It would not be pleasant. Still sticky and gross. This is looking great. And the bugs don't seem to bother it too much. Super tall. The marigolds are coming into their own too. Liking that. I've left the feverfew, trying to let it kind of self-seed itself. We'll see. This dahlia has not done anything. I had a couple blooms about a month ago, and now it's just died right out, not doing much. I have had several cucumbers, so I'm excited about that. There's another one down there. And this is a yellow tomato. It was not my tiny spoon. I'm devastated none of those did survive. That cyan back there looks like garbage. I don't know if it's too shaded, but they're not turning red anymore. And this is a sun gold. Has stopped turning red. Probably could give it some food. This hydrangea is looking nice though. That will be giving us some beautiful flowers. Happy my cucumber's still going for now. I'll admit I have not harvested much of the ground cherry, just a handful. It's more fun to harvest that back garden. I don't know why. This one's not really further. I don't know, I'm not super proud of the gardens this year, other than the back one finally being mature. And then we look at these. Still have some gaps over here. I'm starting to get the mildew on my phlox bad, which is a bummer because it does have a bunch of buds on it. I could spray it. This is Spalier. Yeah, I neglected it 100% this year. Gross, buggy. It's just a hot mess. So I've had it, it's coming out, I'm done with it. Hopefully I can get it out this fall. See if a friend wants it. I don't have anywhere to put it. And then over at the septic, in a pot, I have a clearance hydrangea that I bought, the Incredible. I might try putting that over here because I cannot find happy planting for this circle. I love that I repeated the geraniums because they just look beautiful. So I don't know if I need more repeating. I still like that sedum in the front, love the Japanese maple, but it just looks incomplete. And I keep popping random plants in here, and I've always loved the black-eyed Susan Rebecca. That looks great when you pull up just to see that color, so I'll keep letting little bits of that stay because it does reseed aggressively. There's a little kitty up there. Very mad she can't be out here. Oh, Sophie. Finally got rid of the yellow jackets that were living under the deck. It took multiple sprays, like whatever I could get, and I had to spray in through this little tiny crack here. It's super hard to see. I can't really see anything, but there's a good sized nest under there. So this is what it looks like from up here. You walk up the steps. I should have taken that sprinkler hose out, But the sedum didn't flop. I'm shocked. I thought for sure it would get all floppy, and it didn't. Love the impatiens. I like that idea quite a bit. I never did move the fourth Millennium Allium over here. I don't know if I will. The coleus is kind of fun. It's not going to get big because I threw that in so late as another clearance. But if we look at it from this direction, like I do kind of like that Millennium Allium tying together the purple. So maybe we'll keep it and throw another one back there. I don't know. So here it is, August updates, the good, the bad, and the ugly.